Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma, and today we are at the Eureka Cemetery and Mausoleum in Newport, Oregon. This is the cemetery that I manage, and we've been on these grounds a few times before. We've done headstone cleaning, we've done planting, we've done quick tours, and we talked about 10 ways you can be buried in a cemetery. I'll link some of those below, and you can find the others as usual on my channel. But today I thought, oh my goodness, I haven't introduced you properly to the cemetery. So we're going to meet the first burials and give them a little flower and just talk about them a little bit. So let me get turned around and show you our first burial. All right, we're here at the Abbey family memorial. Obviously the big memorial is for Mr. and Mrs. Abbey, who are the parents of our first burial. She is memorialized on the side of the family memorial, and she has her own marker here, which would have been the original marker. This is Rena Abbey, and she was just over 2 years old when she passed away in 1873. Her family was a very prominent family here in Newport, Oregon. They owned a beautiful hotel on the bayfront and a hardware store, and they had a hard life. They came over here in 1866, obviously lost their baby, in 1873. Mr. Abbey was paralyzed, and Mrs. Abbey had a lot of health issues, but they were still very successful in the community. So just give little baby Rena a little lavender there from my garden, and then we're gonna go and find the first woman burial, which is down this way a little bit. Let's see how quickly I can find her. I think she's with the Matthews. Must be down here further. Oh, there she is. This is Helen Allen, and so you can see there it says Helen K., wife of B.H. Allen. She is actually, that's a Phelps. I don't know who that is. See if I can find. She's a family member of the Kirkpatricks, so you could see a part of their memorial there, and there are more Kirkpatricks over here. Would you look at that wooden headstone? I don't know when that was erected. It is in amazing condition. These are newer pillow markers for son, daughter, mother, but then you see there's an old marker there that just said Kirkpatrick and family, and there's a wooden marker, and right behind it is Helen K. It would have stood for Helen Kirkpatrick Allen, and after she got married. So anyways, this is our very first burial. She died in 1887. Or excuse me, our first woman burial. I'm going to leave a dahlia here for her. Have it stick it in that crack right there. It'll stay there for a while. Let's see. So she died more than a decade after little baby Rena. Rena is right over there. And between them, there were several children and several men. And this community was all fishing and logging, so the men's occupations were very dangerous, and we lost a lot of husbands and brothers, fathers around here back then. So, which is why we see a lot of children and men buried in the early days of this community, more than we even see the women. There seem to be far and few between. All right, so then the next place that I'm going to introduce you to is the Jessup family. This memorial here, the Jessup family donated this land in 1879, and which is several years after Rena passed, John Jessup died 5 days after he donated this land to us. And it was only a portion of the cemetery was John Jessup's property. And since then, the cemetery has added further and further up the hill and up the hill that way and down towards the ocean. It is a beautiful, foggy, cool autumn morning here on the Oregon coast. You see the fog bank back there. Normally we could see the beautiful Pacific Ocean, but you can't see that today because it's socked in with fog. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. That's my cemetery. I have a question for all of you. Tell me in the comments below if you would like to hear stories of pioneers in different cemeteries. Of course, I would probably do quite a few pioneers here in this cemetery because I'm familiar with it. And I know the community. I have easy access to research. But I also just get totally sucked into family stories when I'm doing research for other cemeteries that we visit outside of town. And I would love to tell those stories to you all if that's something that you would be interested in. It might not be every cemetery. It probably won't be on a regular basis. But if that's something that interests you, let me know. I just imagine this, like, I spread out a blanket and sit next to a headstone and pull out a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, and we just talk about this family and how they lived and what they did and how their family relations were, interconnected with other families in the cemetery. How they dressed and what their culture was like, because as people came over on the Oregon Trail, they kind of migrated in like pockets. So like people from Ohio kind of settled over here, and people from New York settled over there, and people from Massachusetts and West Virginia, and they all kind of like congregated because their culture was similar and they felt comfortable with each other even if they didn't know each other. So I just find that really fascinating, and every community kind of has their own little like culture and how they all began, and what their industry was like and all that kind of stuff. So if that is something that's interesting to you, please let me know in the comments below. I would only be featuring pioneers, people that passed, families that passed 100 years ago or more, just out of honor and respect of recently deceased. I won't be going into any of those stories. But I do find our pioneer ancestors and their stories to be really fascinating, and I'd love to share those stories with you if that's something you want to hear about. The other thing, it's a little bit of housekeeping today. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is our October programming is going to be a little bit different because it's October and it's my favorite month. Not only is it autumn, which is my favorite time of year, it is also the month that I got married. It is the end of October. Many, many cultures celebrate the dead, which is something that is very near and dear to my heart. Growing up, I had best friends whose birthdays were in October. So October has always felt just like a warm hug and time of celebration. I was thinking this morning, autumn is like a hug from my daddy. My daddy gives the best big bear hugs, and yeah, that's exactly what this season feels like warm and safe and motivational. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that October is going to be a little bit different. So we're not going to be doing cemetery tours. We will be doing cemetery related education, and we will be doing fall decor, and we will be doing a couple of Halloween DIYs, just simple, easy ones that are just kind of fun to do. And then at the end of the month, hopefully, we're working out the details. So I don't want to give a whole spiel on it, but we're working up a special surprise for your viewing pleasure at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. And what else was I going to say? I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. We met the baby, we met the lady, and we met the founder, and we got to walk around Eureka a little bit and have a little chat. So thank you all so much for watching, and I appreciate all of your views and your comments and your loves and your likes and your shares. I am just tickled with this channel. It's so fun getting to know everybody. I really love how we're creating this community and we get to chat with each other. And you guys, were over 300 subscribers now, which is just amazing, because it was only a couple of weeks ago I was celebrating 100, and now we're over 300, and I'm just absolutely excited about that. So thank you all so much. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep loving, and keep celebrating life. Until the next time, bye.